Hello and welcome to episode 22 of my game devlog. This week will overlap a bit with the end of last episode, because I want to try a more behind the scenes style format, but also want to bring the last episode to a nice conclusion. I'm currently working on adding stairs to the buildings. For that I need holes in the floor. You can see that I've already implemented that. But for some reason one of the corners is cut off. If I take a look at the shape, that looks fine. So the issue must be in the triangulation code, which is very old and inefficient anyways. So today I will create a new triangulation algorithm. I've managed to rewrite the code. It went much quicker than I expected, although the code could still be made quite a bit more efficient with some more effort. This evening I want to add some ramps to the holes so that the floors are actually connected. I'll now put some tilted surfaces into these holes to create the stairs. It's fairly late already, but perhaps I can also implement doors today. I've put the stairs in, but it's quite apparent that they still require some fine tuning. If we take a look into the nav mesh, the floors aren't even connected because the stairs are too steep. With some changes, the stairs now look quite usable, I think. Obviously I should add steps instead of having one smooth surface, but I'll do that some other time. Tomorrow I'll work on doors and windows. It's Tuesday morning now, and today I will implement wall openings like doors and windows. Hopefully I will also be able to finish editing the previous episode, because I was a bit too optimistic when I pre-recorded that episode's end audio, so now I need Windows to properly finish it. I've started by adding some random holes to the wall, and as you can see, the walls react to the holes by changing their structure. But there is a strange problem that the holes aren't actually empty, and instead contain a strange wooden cross. It turns out that was just a stupid mistake. I had flipped the left and right corner of the hole, which twisted the whole thing and caused a strange shape. I'm very happy that this was so easy to fix, because the hole generating code is very complicated and fixing a bug in there would have taken quite some time. Now I can move on to deciding where to place the holes. It's Wednesday morning already, but I'm not yet done with the doors and windows. As a first step, I wanted to add doors and windows to all possible surfaces. Doors were fairly straightforward, but as you can see, I'm still struggling a bit with the windows. The reason this is so hard is that the data structure is fairly complicated. Each room knows the 4 walls that make up its perimeter, but those walls might consist of multiple segments, which represent different types of walls. Shared walls, other interior walls, and exterior walls. And those exterior walls are in turn made up of different segments. The windows are now also working. One of the issues was that the triangle that supports the roof was incorrectly sized and stretched downwards into the windows. I also had a few small math errors that caused multiple windows to be on top of each other. Tomorrow I will add a simple system that randomizes the distribution of doors and windows a bit. The first change I made this morning is that the window bands are now centered for each room. This looks a bit more natural, but there are still way more windows than necessary. I now notch changed the system a bit so that windows only appear with a certain probability. Overall, I'm not super happy with how this looks, because real half-timbered buildings are usually very symmetric and beautiful, while this looks a bit messy, but I'm going to leave it for now. I was busy with an exam and a few other things last week, so it's about a week later now. I want to use the building system to make the city less monotonous. For this, I need to place buildings into each of the lots. As the lots are not rectangles, I first need to find rectangles that fit into each shape. This is a surprisingly hard problem. I finally settled on a technique called simulated annealing. It's essentially a random process that is guided to maximize the area of a rectangle. It certainly is not optimal, but generally works out pretty well, as you can see in this example. For now, I will just place a simple block into each of those rectangles, which still results in a fairly boring village. I hope that it will get more interesting soon. As the city is now roughly usable, I will also add back inhabitants and give them tasks to do. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.